Hi everyone, welcome to Sandee Scrapbooks YouTube channel, and this is another collaboration video with some of the girls and guys I know from Kiwi Lane. We are going to use the October Kiwi Club to create something, and I'm going to do something a little bit different because for the first time I'm going to actually use pre-made pieces because what I'm about to show you is going to would take absolutely forever to cut and do and everything else. So I'm just going to show you the general assembly of the album and then talk about some of the templates that I used and what I did when I was using them. You can see this is my pile of templates, and I will do my best to try and go over some of the templates that I used. Okay, most of the ones that I used are just accessories and things like that, but I did use a lot of the card borders, and the reason why is because the album size that I'm going to be using is pretty much a 6x6 album. I'm actually doing a mini album for you. So what I went ahead and did is I used some of the newer mini borders, and I did use one of the original card borders, and oh wait, no I didn't. I changed it to the mini borders, the other mini borders, because I wanted to show you too that just because sometimes your piece is just a little bit longer, you can kind of extend the templates just a little bit. So, but these are a lot of the borders that I used. I used Wild Side, Cheerful, Breezy, and I did use scallops, of course, because, you know, all know me, I have to use scallops. So that's some of the borders that I used. And then, basically, I used a hodgepodge of everything. I did use the new trees. That was fun to kind of use and cut, and of course, the set really called for it. So I did use that. I don't know where my other piece is. Oh, Wild Side, there it is, another one. There's another border floating around somewhere. It's a little tiny stick, so it kind of disappears on me every now and then. Oh, there he is, under my mat, believe it or not. That's funny. Okay, so he was hiding. One of the other pieces that I did pull was Autumn. And, of course, because, you know, the Autumn flows with the set really, really nicely. I also used a lot of my pumpkins that I had from various sets. The Halloween, the Tiny Holiday, and the a la carte pumpkin worked very well for this. Of course, I used Nature. That just had pieces that screamed out to be used. And then I used the leaf from the Tiny Holiday. Actually, love this little oak leaf. And then there's another oak leaf that was an a la carte, I believe, in one of the snap frame kits, I want to say. It was either in one of the snap frame kits or it was in a previous kit. I can't remember which one that was from, to be honest with you. It's just called Oak. And then I used the Country a la carte Sunshine and Citrus from a previous Kiwi Club. And then, of course, I used brackets. All various brackets. I used tiny brackets and then the regular accessory brackets as well. Alright, those are the sets that I really used. I tried to stay with sets that we still had or that you could still get a hold of, but I did pull in some of the older Kiwi Lane Club sets because some of the pieces just fit very, very well with that. So, like I said, that was my stack of templates that I used, and it was quite a bit. So I didn't think you wanted to see me cut all that. I'll be honest, it took me about 3.5 hours last night. So what I did do, ta-da, was, you know, and this was really kind of handy when I was doing this. For anybody that's like an instructor or anybody that does classes or anything like that, I found my 6x6 Totally Tiffany box, and 8x8 would have worked good too. And I just pulled out the organizer pieces, and I literally put my sets all in there for each of the pages that I was doing. It worked out fabulous. I'm really actually quite happy with how this worked. And quite honestly, I think that I'm going to buy her 12x12 and the Totally Tiffany 12x12 one, because she's got a 12x12 set that has the little file folders in it as well. And I think I'm going to put some pages together like this, and just instead of like pre-cutting anything, but you know, maybe throw some templates or something in there, and that'll be like a go-to for crops. Just like a quick run to a crop or something like that, or run to a friend's house to scrapbook, because I think that would be really, really awesome. So anyway, so I had to show you that. And then, of course, I have umpteen million thousand rings from all of my Kiwi Lane templates before. So I'll be using those to connect the album with. Alrighty, like I said, I did most of the inking and everything else as well. So I haven't done the outside edges of all the pages because I wanted to do that last as a finishing step. But you will get to see the process of me putting this album together. And then I also have what I call fill pages. And all of these were pre-cut. I have an AccuCut die with a professional AccuCut system. And I have a mini album die that makes all this book pieces. So I went ahead and pre-cut all of my filler pieces as well, so that you can expand this album to truly be a nice, thick mini album. So, alrighty, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and pull just the top sheet for now, because I don't want to get my pieces mixed up. I did use some stuff from other collections and other companies. Like, for example, this is from Creative Memories. This is their grass border punch. And then I used some of my close to my heart stamps. And you can see when I was doing... I took some gesso to all my boards before I did everything, and you can see I kind of messed up a little bit, so I had to fill that spot, which is where that one tiny little bracket piece came in so nicely, because I was going to fill that little accident. There are always happy accidents in scrapbooking, we know this, right? So what I did was I kind of, you know, pre-did all of my pages and pre-arranged them how I wanted them, and I know exactly how I want it to look. So I'm going to just kind of lay it down exactly how I want to do it. And then that'll be my guideline. Just like that. And then that's how I'm going to glue it down. So I know which pieces that I need to hit first and do first. Now, when I glue these down to my actual chipboard, I am going to use my ATG, but I'm also going to reinforce it with regular craft glue. So it's going to get a little bit, you know, you're going to have to use adhesive on the chipboard pieces. I don't trust just using ATG. So I think I'm going to put the pointier side up. But when it comes to, you know, actual album assembly, I really want my albums to stick. Very, very nice. Oh, that would be my husband. Sorry. There we go. Close that off. But I do use the ATG for most everything else when I do all of my adhesives and all of my different projects, because I do like how that works. Okay. I could, also, if I wanted to bring any of these up, I could pop dot them up quite a bit if I wanted to, but I don't have to. I just wanted to make this album pretty much as flat as possible, because I know, like I said, I'm just going to use some extra pages in here that's going to hold quite a few pictures. I haven't quite decided how many pictures and what pictures I'm going to put in here, but I know I'm going to put in a couple. Also, you'll notice the trees, I didn't put them straight like this. I kind of put them a little bit tilted, and the reasoning behind that is because not everything in nature is perfect. Trees don't all stand directly perfect in height, and you'll notice that in nature. So I kind of wanted to give a little bit of wonkiness to it. And wonkiness is my word. I love my word wonky. Anyways, okay, so here's that. And then I'll cut anything that overlaps that edge. I'm going to go ahead and cut off. So don't stress and be like, ah, wait a minute, that doesn't work. Okay, I actually want to use my X-Acto knife, because I can't quite get my scissors exactly on there. And I like things being perfect. Okay. So you're not going to get a lot of talking from me, but like I said, I am going to kind of go through and let you see the process of how these all come together. The other thing I like about the ATG gun is when you have little areas that show through, you can actually move the adhesive so that it doesn't goober up and show on the other side. And I do like that about the ATG gun. Okay. And then again, do my little edge. I will tell you this, if you have that border maker system from Creative Memories, I love it. However, when I use basil, and when you're doing basil and cutting basil with it, you have to be very, very careful that you don't damage your punch. It can happen, it does happen, and again, you have to be very, very careful to not do that. Okay, so there's my board. Doesn't matter which side's which. So again, I'm just going to lay ATG tape all through in here, but I'm going to leave the outside edge for my adhesive. But I am going to put a lot of ATG down. I use this Scotch craft glue in so many of my projects, and I'll be honest, it is one of my favorite wet adhesives. I don't really like anything else, I'll be honest with you, because I think all the other glues really do not hold, and they fall apart after so many years, and I don't like that they do that. So that kind of thing bothers me. Okay. And this glue is very quick drying, and it is very, very unforgiving in the sense of when you stick it down, it's down. So you have to use it the way you're going to use it. Alright, there we go. Alright, first page down. Alright, second page. Here's what I did with the leaf. The leaf worked really, really well. With a lot of the sentiments and stuff that they had, but I had other sentiments in my mind that I wanted to use, and that's that stamp set from Close to My Heart that I was telling you about. It really, honestly, fit perfectly. I don't have a lot of stamps, but what I do have, I like. So the sentiments, to me, work very perfectly for that. One of the things that I've seen too with glues and adhesive is I have seen a lot of people actually use the wet glues to reinforce stickers and things like that, and I get why they do it, because this adhesive on stickers really honestly is terrible. Okay, and I'm keeping the page oriented exactly the way that I want and that I need it, because I don't want to mess up putting in a sentiment upside down. I have actually done that many times, believe it or not. So you got to really be careful with how you, when you're putting your stuff together, how you set it up and set it out. Okay. Oops, stuck my finger in the glue. And again, this is a die, so I love doing chipboard books. I think they're beautiful. I think that they really do bring out, you know, my creativity and allows me to, you know, really do things. Another thing that I did, oops, sorry, I'm going to show you. A lot of my pictures, I used a little bit of a lining technique to, you know, just kind of accent up my pictures a little bit. It's really cute, and I did it on some of the embellishments as well. You'll see a lot of designers starting to do that now, and I think that's really neat, because I really do think it changes the look and feel of our pieces. So it's a different, you know, just a different accent than just doing ink, which is kind of cool. Okay. Now, I'm not worrying too much about going over any of my lines or holes, because I can always repunch the holes. But Oh, I did that on both sides. I like that one better. Okay. Always experiment. See, I did it on both sides so I could see which one I liked better. Okay, so there's page, actually that's a cover. Cover and inside cover, page number 1 done. Okay. Page number 2 is this one. And again, I'm going to put the page together first. Okay, I cut off the little chicken's legs because, you know, it didn't work exactly the way I wanted it to. So, I decided to do something different. And this lining doesn't have to be perfect, it just is a little bit of randomness. That's the whole point and purpose to it. And if it's all wonky, that's fine. It's not about being perfect. Alright, this one goes first because there's holes in it. And I still, when I'm layering down any of my border sets, I still try and leave this whole area here free of adhesive because I still do slip stuff in. And so I want to make sure that I still have that availability to do that. And I know this one is actually slipped in there, and I'm going to stick my pen there so it doesn't stick down. Because I forgot. But I try and tell most of my people when we're doing classes to not put adhesive on the edges of these, just for that reason. Because this way you can kind of go in and adjust how much you want to see of your different pieces. And I think I'm going to go ahead and go with right about there. Oops, get on there. Okay. Stick that one underneath. Yeah, see. Get it in there. Alright. I want it to be at just a little bit of an angle. There we go. And then Mr. Chicken. I have to admit, I love this set. The jar, I use the jar more than anything else, but I do love the little chicken and rooster and everything from the set. He's, you know, he's unique. I'm going to put him a little bit so you can see some of the pattern there. And if you're wondering how I know how to put these all together, when I was designing it and doing all the things, created a little cheat sheet, and I have the cheat sheet up there so that I know where I'm supposed to be putting everything. So there's that. Now I can get my piece. Okay. And then if I need to go in and put adhesive down, I can. There we go. That's there. I hope everybody likes and enjoys these videos. I mean, I know sometimes they can get long and boring to watch and kind of tedious, but they do actually have sometimes some really, really good tidbits of advice throughout the videos, because, you know, sometimes when we're talking, things will, like, hit us and remind us of, oh, yeah, by the way, I did this and it turned out really, really cool. So, I know that you want to see, like, the fast forwarding and you want to see everything go quickly. So I'm just a little tidbit of snippet of advice. This is kind of one of the reasons why I like talking on my videos, because I know that sometimes happy accidents happen, and, you know, I explain as they went what happened when I did it. Okay. Now, I tried to leave most of the tabs clear here in case when I added pictures I wanted to add little strips of the tape or whatever else to, you know, talk about what we were doing for journaling purposes or whatever. So I tried to leave most of those clear when I was doing this. Didn't always work because it is a smaller album, but I was happy with how it kind of turned out. And I will say too, on this one, I started off when I started doing it using the solid as background pieces and then only using my patterns as accents because I wasn't sure how much paper that I would have. And then going back, I did see that I had enough paper left over to have done the pattern papers on these, which, you know, is great and it's fine, but I wasn't sure at first, so I didn't. But it turned out very nice either way. So, but it did turn out that I had enough paper in the kit to go ahead and have covered the whole albums in the patterns if I had wanted to. I just would have had to have repeated a couple patterns, which I don't always like doing. Oh, wait, glue. But if you're hearing little ticking sounds in the background, that would be because it is raining here in North Carolina. So I wish it was raining in California with all the rest of my family and all of my friends, but unfortunately, it's raining in North Carolina. So that's where a lot of the ticking comes in. I have a drain spout right behind one of my walls here. Not sure if the camera's picking up on it. Anyways, again, I digress. Okay. I forgot to do this on a lot of my pictures. Just takes a second and it makes such a big difference. It's amazing. I can't even believe how much of a difference just a little tiny thing makes when you're designing stuff. It's the same thing like inking. A lot of people don't like inking, but man, the difference that it makes in your pages, it's unbelievable. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'm going to do that at an angle. I kind of like the angle. Okay. Again, too, this is that technique that I showed last time about using ink and doing just little accents within the pattern itself. I tried doing it with the pen to see if I liked any of the veining, and I really didn't like it, so I went back to my technique. I tend to like things that I do. Okay, so let's put this one like that down a little bit. Don't want to lose all of my pattern. And like I said, if I cover up a hole, that's fine, because I can come back in and take out that hole. Yeah, let me do that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just perfect to you. I think I'll just offset that a little bit. So here's my wonderful little big old crocodile. Remember these, y'all? They still come in handy, trust me. I use it quite a bit. I actually, when I made this album, I was like, oh, okay, I'll just cut the individual pages and then I'll just use my We Are Memory Keepers. But the holes were wrong. So I had to actually cut each and every one of these, and I used my crocodile to do all the holes from a template, because I was really upset that these holes are non-traditional widths. So, yeah. Didn't work as nicely as I had planned. Okay, that's the second sheet. Now we're on to the third. Get it on out there. Oh, see, I almost got the other stuff. Okay. There we go. A little bit of glue showed up top on that. It's alright, the glue will dry clear. Oh, this one almost stayed exactly the way it was supposed to. Ha, that's funny. Okay, and again, you know, I didn't ink the edges on these sheets quite yet because I wasn't sure how they would lay out. Oop, got that one in the hole a little bit. That's alright. Oops, give it that. Alright. But I will say, I did have a really good time making this one. I do think that these kits are a really great opportunity to use papers that you might not otherwise use. Because I'll be honest with you, when I first got this, I was not impressed. These are not my colors, people. I don't do oranges and browns and, yeah, no, not my color schemes. So when I saw this set, I just was like, I'm never going to use this. So I forced myself with this collaboration video. I was like, you know what? That is going to be a great way for me to really just suck it up, Buttercup, and use the colors and schemes that I normally, like I said, would not touch with a 20-foot pole. Because I really honestly would not do this, and I would never have used this. One of the things I was going to tell you about the pieces, this one here in particular, I know, this is the actual autumn. I flipped it around because I wanted this branch here down on the bottom. You don't, just because it's printed this way doesn't mean this is how it has to go. So, you know, change it around, change it up, flip it over, do whatever you want to do. But you don't have to leave it exactly the way it was made. Or trace it exactly the way it was made. I have another thing on the pumpkins here in a little bit too that I wanted to show. This. Down there. Okay. And cut off my top. Okay. And there we go. Now this one on the book, it throws me every time because this sheet actually gets made twice. One goes like this and then the other one flips like this. So I always have to make sure I get these right on which section they fit in. Because I will mess it up. Inevitably, if it can be messed up at least once, I'll do it at least once. As an oops. Okay, glue. Okay. Normally too, whenever I'm working with glue, it helps to keep like a little wet rag on the side of your work so you can kind of, you know, clear off whatever glue that you've got on your hands so that it doesn't get anywhere else on your project. Okay, and there we go. Kind of like make my lines go a little bit wavy intentionally just so that it's not totally perfect. The whole idea is so that it's, you know, hand done and hand drawn. Okay. There. Oops. No rolling into the camera view. Now, if this album had been like a true 6x6 album, I probably could have done a lot more with it with patterned papers, but it's just a little bit wider. It's like 6 3/4 at the longer points. So I was kind of like, oh, darn it. Because these are 6 inches this way, but 6 3/4 this way, and they fit a little bit shorter than this. So, and those are the inside sheets, and you'll see those in a minute. So it was kind of like, oh, darn it, dratting at it. But it's okay, because like I said, they gave us enough paper with these to really do this. And I, you know, quite honestly, I have a bunch of sheets left over, so there is plenty more that I can actually still do. So I'm not totally, now this tree, you can do this puppy any way you like. I kind of did it this way because I think that's how it looks the prettiest, but you don't, I mean, the tree can do anything. It doesn't have to be, you know, it goes any which direction you really want it to. It doesn't, there's no real rhyme or reason on how, that's actually kind of cute, on how it goes together. I kind of liked it this way when I first did it, so that's the way I went with. So I did that. Yeah, that way. I think I wonkied all of my photos, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do that with all of them. Well, no, this one because I wanted to do that. So I still want to do that. Okay. Change my mind. Oops. Come on, adhesive. Be friendly. Get on there. Oh, let me get the tree branch down first. Okay, here we go. And again, I like the ATG because if it goes over your edges, you can kind of smooth it out and bend it back over before you put it down and stick it on your paper. Okay. Alright, there we go. Let go my echo. Okay. I want to take off that adhesive there so it's not on my picture. ATG, you can just actually take your fingers and kind of rub it off and peel off that adhesive if it's somewhere where it's not supposed to be. Another reason why I like it, but that when you get it down, it is permanent. So, just yet another reason. Okay. Alrighty, and there's that page all set. Next, okay, where am I at? This one should be one that I don't have a picture of. Ha ha! Figures. Okay, so here we go. Well, for starters, this is the wrong direction. That would be one problem. It's the opposite side. Okay, that goes there. That goes there. think so. Okay. So yeah, this is one of the ones, again, that when I grabbed it going this way, so I'm actually working on the back page first, which is fine. Just have to remember how it goes. And again, I always work on the outside border first and then layer underneath. And you see this one, when I cut it, that's all I had left of this paper. And I didn't bother cutting this as a straight angle because I knew I was going to hide it anyways. So it doesn't matter what that side looks like. Because I knew I was slipping it under here. And I want to get it as close to those holes as possible. Okay. And again, that's that stamp set, Thankful, Grateful, Blessed. Okay. So this is the actual page. So this goes this way. Back on track. There we go. If when you're putting the glue down, you go over your adhesive, it's not going to matter because glue is glue and it'll adhere to anything, adhesive or not. So, well, anything it's designed to hold, I should say. And again, I'm not worried too much about like the edges here because like I said, I'm still going to ink all of these edges on the outside. I didn't do it first because I didn't know how much of certain pages were going to be overlapped and everything. And why ink what you don't have to, right? You don't always have to ink everything. If it's not going to be seen, don't worry about inking it. I did love this orange paper. It's got like a crocodile type of texture to it. And I thought that'd be really perfect for my pumpkins. I wanted to do it up and down, but I didn't have enough of it left, so I had to go side to side. But it still looks cute. Oops, glue. I think I'm going to do on this part here because I'm getting glue all over my fingers when I'm setting this thing down. So I think I'm going to switch it up a little bit. See, again, one of those live and learn processes. There we go. A little bit of wiggle room, but not a lot. Okay. All right, there we go. Still got a little bit of glue on my hands. That's funny. Okay, so this one, see, I did it. See, I had that upside down. That would have been way wrong, and I would have been really mad at myself. So that's the right way it's supposed to go. Okay. Okay. Been checking and checking after my last little thing of my upside down paper. Okay, so I want that to go underneath both of them. And this does not have to be totally perfect. That's one of the fun things about mini albums is these are just kind of thrown together, which is kind of cool. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you. Okay, here. You're not going to be able to see it really well. Our templates are smooth edged, right? But what I did was I took, and I'm hoping you can see it, I went with my scissors and I kind of just like moved my scissors a little bit to give this edge a texture look so that it's not totally flat, because the pumpkin's not exactly smooth on the sides. So I wanted to have that little bit of texture there when I was cutting. So all I did was I took my scissors and I kind of, you know, wavered them around as I was cutting, and I cut a little bit slower to do that. It just gives it a little bit of texture. It's not a lot, and, you know, it's not really, really noticeable to the naked eye. As a distance, you can't notice it, but when you're looking at it up close, you can. It's also another way that I wanted to show some people too, that if you don't cut perfectly and your hand shakes a little bit or anything like that, it's not a thing, and you can actually use that to your advantage as well. So again, that's one of those tips that I was telling you about that I wanted to show you with that. Okay, so those two are done now. Okay, see, I'm doing the same thing again. I'm doing them upside down. Okay, here we go. That one. See, there's a reason why I took pictures. Follow directions, Sandy. Took pictures for a reason. All right. Oops, give it back. You'll also notice too that sometimes I put more adhesive down on some types of pieces than I do like my pictures or anything like that. And the reason being is with the pictures, whenever you're pre-making an album, a lot of times your pictures don't always go in the orientation that you put them on, which is fine. I have learned over the time to actually take my pictures in both orientations of landscape and portrait. I always take one, I always take one in portrait, and then I turn my camera over and take one in landscape, just because I know I do a lot of mini albums, and I know I do a lot of pre-made layouts, and you can't always, you know, sometimes a picture can't go a certain direction because it needs to be a certain way on the page. So like this one here, I mean, I have it set like this, but I could very easily take the picture off and adjust it to go like this. So I leave a little bit of that room and wiggle room when I put my pictures down, that I can pull it up without a lot of heartache and, oh my gosh, I just ripped my page in half type thing. Because good as this adhesive is, once it sticks down, it sticks down. Okay, that's it. Okay, and then I'm going to put that one back here, like so. Okay, putting that on my piece, and I just stuck my finger in my X-Acto blade. That was not funny. Okay, this way. Stay. That would not be a good thing to mess that up. Because I didn't make a duplicate of this album. This is it. This is what I did, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said, all things being said and done, it took me, I think I started at about 6 o'clock, yeah, 6 or 6:30, and I think I finished it just before midnight when I was, you know, doing the designing and everything else. And I'll be honest, it was just like my video. I started with the papers, and as I went along, I just picked and chose different templates and different things to go with whatever I happened to be doing at the time. I didn't think out a lot of it. I just pulled a bunch of templates that I thought I might use. You know, I pulled out all my leaves, I pulled out my trees, my branch, you know, my pumpkins, things that I knew would go along with the set, and then I just started going. There was no rhyme or reason, there was no pre-planning or anything like that. So, yeah, it doesn't take a lot of effort with Kiwi Lane. And again, it's one of the reasons, many reasons why I love the system, and why it really just honestly does work for me, because I can just sit down, I know my templates right next to me, and I can just dig through them, and I'm going to find something that works. You know, it is an amazing system. This little guy, I went ahead and I did a little stumpy thing on the top, you know, just for a little accent. And again, I did my shadowing, because you know me, I gotta have my shadows. Okay. So don't overthink things when it's coming down to using the templates, because it's not that hard. And the more you overthink something, the more you're going to cause yourself stress. And you don't want to cause yourself stress. And you know what? I don't think I didn't. I missed inking something. And you know me, I do not like that. So I hit that real quick. I don't like white edges. If I see white, I'm like, no, I don't like it. So much as I know the white core paper is cheaper to use and make with dyes and everything else, I don't like it. There we go. I should say it doesn't like me too, but you know, hey. Get on there. There we go. Most of, in case you're wondering, most of the picture sizes that I used in this mini album are 4x5 and 3x4. I didn't go any bigger than that because then I couldn't really decorate the way that I wanted to. And I wanted to have a lot more in the decorative, you know, sense of the word than I did in the pictures, because I knew that I was going to have, oops, I glued that, these sheets. So I figured if I needed 4x6 pictures, I had these sheets to add in. So these are my decorative parts to the album, and these will actually be like a photo sleeve, if you would. And I can do a photo collage or whatever else on these. So that's what these are designed for. Also for journaling and different things like that. So I didn't focus on that for my pages here. So in case you're like, oh, you're not going to do that many pictures on there, and that's exactly why. Is because I knew I would have the additional sheets for the inside of the album, and you'll see that when it's all completed. I'll show you how it goes together that way. And I did that for a reason. I kind of wanted to try and do not necessarily a one of those like a quick folio albums, but no, it's a Creative Memories thing, sorry. What are they with the pre-made sizes and everything when you scrap? I can't even for the life of me think about what the name of what that kind of scrapbooking is. Pocket scrapbooking. Ah, there it is. So I kind of wanted to have that as an option too, because I do know there are some companies, I think Snap still has pocket photos for 6x6 page, and also goodness gracious, Simple Stories. There it is. Ha! Oh my gosh, I just ordered from them too. Gosh, sorry about that. But yeah, they have a line, and I really like it. It's really cute. So I got some of that the other day. Okay. Back part of the album. Oops, wait, I just want one side. Okay, this is the inside. There we go. And the outside. The very, very back of the album, actually I can bring that out because I did not decorate it whatsoever. I just left it blank. So the very, very back of the album is very simple. I'll do that really quick. I don't decorate my backs very often because it's a part that not everybody sees. It's either sitting on the table or it's, you know, resting in between somewhere. So, because I don't think people really, you know, look at the backs. But it also gives me a place that if I give it as a gift, that I can write a little note, or I can do my little personal stamp of, you know, created by so-and-so when I give it as a gift. Okay. And also, too, on the links, we're going to have, like always, links to our different designers and different collaborators for the month. And please, please, please share and subscribe and like everybody's links, because it is really, this collaboration is really and honestly such a fun way for different people to show different styles, to show different techniques, and to really showcase, you know, the Kiwi Lane templates and the Kiwi Lane ideals, principles, and designs, because we want especially everybody to see that there's so many different ways you can use Kiwi Lane, and your style may not be the same as mine, and you know, or the same as Tammy's or Jonathan's or anybody else's. It's your style. It's not ours to tell you what you can and can't do. And I think that's one of the things that is so wonderful and awesome about scrapbooking, is that we can take the same exact stuff and all make it look so different because we do different things with it. And that is what makes us really unique and special in this craft. And don't lose that. Don't think that, oh, mine doesn't look as good as anybody else. It does. It's just different. It looks beautiful. It looks perfect. It's just different. Don't sell yourself short. Oops. On, you know, if something doesn't look as professional, or something doesn't look as wonderfully designed or anything. We've been working, I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but I've been working and using Kiwi Lane now for going on, I think this is my 7th anniversary come December, I think. So let's see, Kiwi Lane's 10 years old. Yeah. So, being able to use the template systems and come up with things as quickly as I do and everything else, that's from years and years of use. So, you know, you can't compare what you do as a beginner or what you do as a novice with somebody else who has literally had the products in their hands and used it for, you know, 10 years. You know, Susan's a great example of that. She does phenomenal designs. Mindy and Amy and everybody does such beautiful designs and everything. And Jennifer with all the Kiwi Lane, but it's their company. They have had these products and they have created this. See, you know what? I'm doing this upside down again. Ooh, wow. See, that would have been a really big mistake. See, we all make mistakes. I don't know if I want to tuck that or if I want to. I think I'm going to tuck it behind this one and then put that one there. So don't sell yourself short. You know, we all lived and learned. We all made mistakes. I mean, I can go back to some of my first Kiwi Lane projects and be like, "Ooh, that's so boring," and "Oh gosh, I want to change that," and "Oh god," you know. And I don't, because one of the things that is really cool about scrapbooking, and it's one of the things that I love so much about it, is it's about the journey too. You know, when we create and we do things with scrapbooks, we're showing the artistic side of ourselves, and when you go back into your first pages and your first sets of pages, one of the things that's really kind of cool to see is your growth, you know, and how you have really become and grown into this beautiful art and created different types of things and pages and everything else. There's so much to it, and there's so much that we learn as we go. And our styles change and things that we do. So don't give up on that. Don't think that, you know, just because it doesn't look right now, you know, you're going to look back a couple years from now and look back on those pages and be like, oh my gosh, I remember when I used that and I did that. And oh, we were all focused on stickles, or we were all focused on, ooh, stickles. Stickles would make this album. Anyway, sorry, digression. So really, honestly, don't change your old stuff. Don't go back in and fix it or, you know, add to it or whatever else. I tried doing that once, and I did it to a couple pages, and then I really wasn't happy because those pages weren't the same anymore. You know, the pages themselves bring back the memories of when I worked on them and, you know, did all the things that I did. So don't destroy that memory, because this is all about memory making. Okay, we are done. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to go back in and ink it later, but I want to show you how I finish it out completely. These are my quote-unquote additional pages. And then here's my Kiwi rings. We all have like a million zillion of these laying around. I kid you not, I have a whole entire basket of these rings from all the old original sets. So I have a gazillion of them. Okay. And then, of course, all my friends that didn't use them, they gave me all of theirs, too, because they know I love making mini albums. Okay. So, all I do when I do my rings and everything else is I'm going to open these up. And I use the bigger one. I like the bigger ones because this is going to be a big album once everything's all in it. Okay, so you just take your stacks and start. Okay. I'm probably going out of frame here. Let me put this up a little higher. There we go. Okay, so there's my first page. And I think, and I haven't quite decided if I want to put anything between the first pages. I don't think I am. I think I'm going to use this as like a title page. So I think I'm just going to set that in here like so. And then I'm going to add 2 sheets, and I'm going to alternate my colors. So add... and then add my flap, 2 sheets, next flap, and I can always add or take away the papers later on. It's not that big of a deal. But you can see it's already filling up almost this whole side. So you can see how much paper I used. Okay, and then add that. So I had extras. Okay, and then close it up. Oh, that was my finger. Pinch. And then later on, I'm going to go, and my ribbon tote is like hiding in a storage shed somewhere. So later on, what I will do is I'll come back in for this, and then I'll put some ribbon here, and I'll tie it, and, you know, really fluff up the outside with some stuff. Okay, move those to the back side there. And there you have it. So... there's the mini album, all said and done. And then extra sheet, extra sheet. And I didn't worry too much when I was designing the album about this side matching or not matching this side, because I knew these extra sheets were going to come into play. So I didn't worry about that very much. And then, like I said too, I also have plenty and plenty and plenty of paper left over. So if I did want to decorate these out with, you know, a little border or something, I definitely have the paper to do that with. Or if I want to add a couple extra embellishments or anything else, I can as well. So that's it. That's all she wrote. And like I said, this is a mini album, and I do hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope you listen to my wonderful rambling. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please follow along with the hop and enjoy. Thanks so much for watching.